everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie, back with you with a new project. Welcome to my channel if you're new or if you've been here for a while. So today I want to show you my design team project for this month for Polka Art Studio. Now also I will be showing you how I actually did this cover. So we'll go through this first and then we'll go right into showing you how I did this. So this is a tunnel, like a tunnel book, but what I wanted it to be was a tunnel cover. And I saw some where they did a tunnel cover, but that it was stationary, and I did not want that. I wanted these to be able to open. So I'll show you that in a moment. My closure is just a bulldog clip with a chain and an eyelet down here with a jump ring. And I added some extra chain just in case. It can be adjusted. On the spine, I did some beading, which I've never done before, and I like the way that came out. Now the cover is done again with Mamagami, and I show you how to do this, and I did a lot of splattering on this because I really wanted this to be a real like grungy journal. The kits I'm using for this are field notes and laces. So there's two separate kits, which I will link below for you. And so I wanted this to look really field notes, you know, in my mind. That's what I had. So I thought the beading would be kind of fun. And then on the cover, so the Mamagami, I do show you what I did in there, and I'll be showing you that shortly. But the front cover is done like a tunnel book. So what I did is I took like 2 full pages, so they're each cut in half, and I printed them on both sides, and these are out of the lace kits. So I added this field note label up here, and I decorated the front, and as we open this you'll see what is specifically on the front and then what's on each page. So I wanted to be able to open this up, so I did also print on the back. And then with the splattering stuff and some of the printing I did on the back, I really didn't need to worry about my pieces. I did a little inking on some, which I'll show you. Then this is page 2, so you see there's a few items here. These are die cuts and then fussy cuts from the kit. Some of the fussy cuts are just from the actual pages from the field notes kit. And what I did is I printed them forward to a page and then I cut them out so they'd be much smaller. So here's the back of the second page, and then the third page just has a few items here that peek through, and that creates the window of what you're looking at through each of these like tunnels, I guess is what I'm trying to explain. So here's the third page on the back, and then here is the page from the field note kit that I wanted to have showing through. So I wanted her like she's out there in the forest looking for whatever it is she's looking for. So we have butterflies, there's all kinds of ephemera. I did tiny birds there, and they're from the forward to a page that I printed, and then I fussy cut them out. So I'll give you one more look at how this goes together. So here's how it is complete, and then as each page turns, you get a little bit less again, and then you have the final picture. Underneath here, I did add some coffee dye cheesecloth on top of the Mamagami. Now I did Mamagami on just some packaging paper, and I do show you that. So let's go on inside. So this is from the Field Notes kit, and I printed these two. It's a horizontal because I needed the height, and that's what I put on the inside covers. Here is where we'll start, and I'll just kind of flip through it a little bit slowly. I have added some splatters, and some of them are in gold, some are in coffee. So I've done a coffee and a gold, or maybe I've done a gold and a white, or coffee and a white, just a variety. So I'll just kind of flip through. Now this is, I got this trim off of Amazon, and it's really cool because it has leaves on both sides. So it looks like you're actually in a forest kind of book, and I really like that. Again, we have splatters. This I made last year. I have a video on this, and I thought they went perfect, so I thought I would just tuck this into the pocket. The pocket is from the Field Notes kit. And then I also had made last year, here's another one of the specimen card tags that I made last year, and I thought I went perfect, so I put it on this side. And this is like a file folder that I just used as a pocket, gluing it down here on the side and the bottom. Here I took some fabric and some of the different leaf trim that I have that I also got from Amazon. It looks like this. And this is the other one. I thought of the name now. Snippet roll. Goodness sakes. So this is pieces of a snippet roll. And then here I just added a button, some thread underneath on top of some of this fabric, and then I did some splattering on it as well. I made sure the leaf came around on the other side so you had something fun to look at on the other side of those page tabs. And here we just envelope, did some decoration and splattering. This is from a wildflower book that I have. So I thought some of these pages would look really nice in here, so I combined some of those. Again, more splattering on some of them. More of this trim. And then here, I made these frames last year, and so perfect, I thought I would just add it into here. So I took one of the pieces of ephemera, and then I put it on the back side of the frame, and then just created a pocket by just gluing it on 3 sides and adding another piece of ephemera. And here I just took some pages that I had and I just made little notepads. And then this is from, I believe, the lace kit, and I just used pieces and created that. Used a bulldog clip on the end to hold it in place. And then on this side I just added a couple of tags. Here's another one of the tabs with the button. I did some gold splattering here and some coffee. Here is part of the snippet roll. Now you remember the name now. So now you can kind of see what it is. Let me just take this out so you can see it. So it's made out of different fabric and stuff and stamping and all kinds of laces and trims and stuff that I had in my stash. And then this is just from the kit. So I just tucked this in here. This I made last year as well, and I thought perfect, it would go in this kit. So I added one of the pockets from the kit, from the Field Note kit. These are from the inside where I cut the front. So I believe it's the smaller one here. And I thought, well, perfect, because I'll just make it into a little tag. So because this has the flaps underneath, it was a little bit wobbly, so I just added a little bit of glue right here. And then I glued this on 3 sides and added these 2 tags. And I just added some eyelets just to kind of give it. I didn't want to add a bunch of trims and stuff because it was getting bulky as it was, and I didn't want it to be too bulky, but I thought it definitely some eyelets. Here's this page. Now this is some eco dye paper that I get from a shop on Etsy, and I'll try to link everything that I can so that you can go and take a look at it. The kits for definitely will be linked. I'll try to find the links for this and the trims and anything else. I'll try and link also the videos for the items that are in here that I made last year. You can take a look at those if you choose to. So here's this. Again, just a lot of splattering just to give it some different character, you know, adding some things to make it look a little bit more unique. So here I just took the other side of an envelope and I used some ephemera pieces and made a little tuck spot and added these tiny tags here. More splattering, more trim. I did trim, I think, on each signature. There's 3. I did it on 4 pages, so I tried to space it out. More splattering and the trim. Here, this is a specimen slide that is a pocket, so I tucked this in here, which goes with it. It's kind of hard to get in because I added some brads, but it's okay. And then here's a couple of tall tags that I just tuck in here, peek out the top. And I did add an eyelet there. More splattering. Here's another one of the button tabs. And then here's a couple pieces of ephemera that I just added with a bulldog clip. And then on this side, I added another little notepad here, made the same way. Here's an envelope that I just put this piece on, made it as a pocket, added some decoration here, added a bulldog clip and another one of these little notepads. And then I made a small pocket here and added some tiny pieces of ephemera from the kit. And then here's the digitals are just absolutely beautiful. Here, more splattering. I tried to just give a little bit of splattering almost everywhere because I really like that look and I hadn't been doing it for a while, so I thought, yeah, let's give that a try. Here's another one of the specimen slides that I made last year, so that worked perfect in here. More of the trims. Here on this side of the envelope, all I did was glue it down and added some pieces of ephemera, just to give it a little character. I like all the various textures in here too, so I just did some splattering here. And really, this didn't need splattering, but you know, when you're splattering one side, you kind of splatter the other side if you've ever done it. So this, I did a pocket. And I made this little paper clip and added some of the fabric and did some splattering on it. And that just kind of holds these in place. Here's another one of the button tabs. There's still lots of open areas. So if you like to journal, you know, you can add more open areas, but there's still quite a few in here if you choose to journal. Here's another one of the notepads that I made. And I also, on the backs of each of these notepads are the other cutouts from the front cover. And here's the back of the tab. And on the other side of this, with the bulldog clip, I just added 2 pieces of ephemera. And on this envelope, I just created a little pocket, a couple of pieces of ephemera, used another part of the snippet roll. And then on the back, I tucked in, made a little tuck spot and added a couple pieces of ephemera. And then this is another one of the pockets that I made last year. They're a little bit heavy because they do have metal pieces on it, but actually it works pretty good in this envelope. So I thought, well, I'll just tuck it in there. Here's another one of the frames that I made last year. And again, I just used a piece of ephemera from the field note kit. I added some of the cheesecloth and splatters and added that to the page. And on this side, this is a triple pocket. And I also added a couple of these little stamps that come in the kit and another little tuck spot for a small tag. And then there's 3 pockets. So you've got this one, you've got this one, and then the back. And if you choose, you don't have to make this back one a pocket, but I had all kinds of ephemera still to put in, so I wanted to use as much as I could. And again, I didn't add any ribbons or any fabrics or anything to these because it would just add to more bulk. And this got pretty chunky. I originally was going to do 4 signatures, and I cut it down because it started getting too bulky as it was. Here's another one of the slides, and then I just made it a pocket, tuck one of these little pieces of ephemera in it. Here's another one of the page tabs, and these are super easy to make. It's just some fabric that frays nicely, some thread behind the button, and this trim. So simple tabs that you can create. Another one of these. I like these. These went so well from the it's a flower botanical type book that I took some of the pages out. It really went well with this. So here I just took a last piece of the snippet roll I believe I had. I made this little pocket, and I had these little stamps, and this is supposed to create another pocket, but I used some of that stuff differently. So I just thought, well, I will just tuck it in here and then add these stamps. So all kinds of textures. I like all the different textures. Here on this is the other part of the envelope. I just made a little tuck spot here and made this into a tuck spot also at the top. There we go. Just added some pieces of ephemera. And we're almost to the end. Got this. And then here we are at the end. And so this is the eyelet that I put on, and then this is just a jump ring. So it comes around. What I wanted was something that was going to keep these pages closed and keep my journal closed. So that's where I came up with this idea when I had this larger bulldog clip. So then you just clip it right on to hold it all together. So I'm going to show you how I created the cover and this part of it. Most of the rest of the decorating and even the beading I did off camera, but at some point in time I'm sure I'll do something again and try to show some of that stuff on camera. So what I'm going to do now is show you how I created this beautiful cover and the kit with both of the kits that I used from Polka Art Studio. Okay, so let me show you how I did the tunnel book cover. So I wanted to make it as a cover, but I also wanted it to flip open like you saw in the flip through. So here's what I did is I have 4 pieces of the printables from the lace kit. So I'm using one sheet from the Field Notes kit, and then I have 3 from the lace kit. And I have printed the 3 double-sided because I want this to be able to open like you saw in the flip through. So you'll need 3 of these, and basically I just cut them in half of what is on the digital. So they're just under 5.5 by like 9 1/4. So the first thing you want to do is you want to line up your pages. So I wanted this one on the front, and then actually this one on the front, and then this one, and then this one. And then the way you saw it is this peeks through. So the dies I used are these. If you don't have dies, you can tear it. You can use a craft knife. If you have another shape dies, I was thinking of maybe using circle, but I liked the way this looked all torn edged, so I decided to use these. But you can use anything you want, and just make a decision. Do you want to tear it? You may want to, like, if you're going to tear it, I would just cut an area in here and then be able to cut some corners or round, however you want to do it, and then just tear around it. Then after I did that, so after you decide how you want your pages to be, then I would take the first die, and I believe it was this second size, and let's see, I want to make sure I'm getting the right sizes to show you. Yeah, so this size. So then I laid this on my die cut machine, and I have a magnetic mat so it stayed in place. And I die cut the first one. Then the next thing I did is I put the next sheet underneath, and then I took the next size die, and I did the same thing. Now what you want to make sure is that all the cuts are the same. So what I mean by that is that each corner has a specific look. So you want to make sure each one has the same. So this one has the same little corner here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just take them apart so you see the corners. You want to match those up. If not, then it won't look quite right. And then the last sheet, I just did the same thing. I lined it up, and then I put my die on, and then I cut it. After that, I inked all the edges, and I am using Walnut Stain Distress ink. So I'm using that. You can also stitch around this if you choose to. I'm not going to for time purposes, but you certainly can stitch around the openings or stitch around here. But really, Andrea at Polka Art has done a beautiful job on these digitals that I'm not even going to do that. The next thing, so you'll need a back piece that is complete. All of this is on cardstock. You don't need to print on the back of this. And this will be the back sheet, so pick whatever it is you want to peek through. So I want her to peek through. Since this is a field notes type journal, I want her, she looks like she's out in the wilderness, you know, checking out things that go along with field notes. So flowers, and insects, animals, stuff like that. So this is what we're going to be putting together. Now, because I wanted it to open like this, and then like this, and like this, is the reason why I printed on both sides. So the next thing we want to do is you want to have 3 hinges. So these are 1 inch by 4 inch, and you need 3. So you're going to be hinging the first 2 pages together, the last 2 pages together, and then 1 overall. So I'm just going to line these up, making sure that I have the same design. It's kind of hard to see when they're together, but separately you can see. So I have that same design on that corner. So I'm just going to line these up and then take a hinge. I'll just add some little bit of ink on here. And then we're going to glue those 2 together. So I'm just eyeballing it, making sure these are lined up. So now this will open, and this will open. And then the next one, we're going to do these 2. So I have another piece, and I'm going to be connecting all of these together with this piece. So now we should have 1, 2, 3, and then this is our back piece that's going to go on the front of the journal. So I have some butterflies that I had in my stash, but I also have some die cuts. I used some of the Tim Holtz, I don't remember what the names are, but I will link them below. Some of them are the wildflowers, and I can't remember what this one's called, but I die cut some of these and some of the colors that kind of went into the field notes. So now we're going to create the scene. So I have all kinds of little fussy cuts. Now what I did with these is I took some of the pages that had birds on it, flowers or whatever, that mushrooms that I liked, and I printed them 4 to a page, and then I cut these out. So they're little tiny birds, leaves, some flowers, we have some mushrooms, and so now I'm going to create a scene. So I think for me, what I want to do is start in the back. So I'm going to start placing just a few things that I think I want to show here, and then we'll just keep moving this over and seeing if we like how that looks. Now, because this is a smaller area, I want to use smaller things. So think I'm pretty happy with the way it looks, and it tells a little field notes story here. She's out collecting butterflies and leaves and all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, so we've got that decorated. So now what I want to do is show you what I've created for the outside cover. And I went ahead and did that. It's going to be a hard cover because I wanted the glue to be dry. So here's the cover that I came up with. I did some packaging, and I did this packaging, I did Mamagami treatment on it. So I did that yesterday. And then I'm using a heavier chipboard, and I created my cover. Now I have not covered the inside yet. I'm still deciding, do I want fabric or do I want paper? Okay, so this is going to end up going on here, but I want to do some work on this. So I am going to use my Distress ink, Walnut Stain, and I'm going to go over all the wrinkles. We'll do the inside when we go to do the inside part. I also have some cheesecloth that I have coffee dyed. So I wanted to put some here, peeking out. So we'll cut some of this down, and then this would go on top. Now let's put our top on. Yeah, I like that peeking out. Just like that. Make sure we're peeking out. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so take a little look at that. All right, so I'm going to add the glue to this and glue it on here, and that should capture all of this too, because I don't want to lose what I have sticking out and stuff. So I'm just going to use my Fabrifix, and that's exactly what I used when I glued this down onto the chipboard. So I want to show you some other things that I want to do on this to kind of grunge it up a little bit. Okay, I have some coffee. It's an espresso type coffee that I had. So I have some of this that I've mixed with some water. I have some gold acrylic paint, white acrylic paint, and black acrylic paint. And I've mixed all of those with water. So I want to grunge this up a little bit. So the first thing I want to do is cover up her face. So we'll just use a piece of paper for that. So we'll cover up her face. And then I'm going to do a little bit kind of on each page. So the first thing I'm going to start with is coffee. And I have my splatter brush. So I'm just going to add some splatters. And I'm going to go ahead and add splatters to the back of this. The splatters will also help with some of this back of the fussy cut pieces. So add the coffee. Just do as much as you want. Get the effect that you want. And then I'm going to go ahead and dry this, and then we'll move on to the next color. Okay, let me get some water, and I think we'll do some gold splatters. Now let's do a little bit of black. And then finally, let's do a little bit of white. Okay, so here's what we have so far. And I don't mind that the splatters are getting on the cover because I'm going to add some there anyway. So I think I like that. So let's turn the page over and cover her face again. So don't get her face all spotted up. And we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this and this page, and then when we get to the front, I'll come back. Okay, I went ahead and did all the splattering, but let me show you. Let me take out this little paper here, and let me just show you how it looks now. So it gives it more of a grungy kind of a look, and yes, I put it all over the back side of the journal. And each page, front and back, are done. Gives it a lot more texture, grunge, more of a, to me, more of a field notes type journal. So this is what it looks like now. So I think it came out pretty good. I like the coloring that I used, and I like the way it comes out and how it looks on the front of the cover. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So let me clean up a little bit, and then I will show you some things that I have that I want to use inside the journal. I'm going to probably go ahead and sew in my signatures and do the inside, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I've cleaned up a little bit. I'll show you the cover once again. I love the way it came out. I like the grunginess. I like all of this peeking out and all of the peeking through from the tunnel cover. So I'm going to finish my journal and put all the pages in. Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope maybe you learned something that you might want to give a try for this field notebook. If this is something that you'd like to give a try, hopefully I gave enough instruction on the cover and how I did the tunnel cover on this for you to give it a try. So I'd love to see what you do, and if there's anything on here you would like me to show you how to do, you can always leave a comment below. So you guys have a great day. God bless you all, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye.